Alright, we just tried to speedrun this. Q units. I mean, this is easy. This is the best. And then I think, unironically... No, I think it's like this. It simply goes by cost. Pretty much. It's not much to say. You pretty much never buy Q units when 4 mining. It's pretty fucking useless. If you're red position, ghouls are... They're not a factor in your picking decision when selecting your tier 1 draft, but it's useful since you can almost guarantee you winning the first wave. So it's a little bit of gold for your team, so they cry a teeny tiny bit less. That's about it. Pretty much doesn't matter. Grunts, garbage tier. Same with these. And also these are at least these 3. Ghetto solution if you're getting cucked by banshees. That's about it. But you pretty much never buy them. They're not factored in whatsoever in your picking decision. This is a easy S tier. And the second one, no one will ever believe. I can't even find it. Boom. And... Wait. Where the fuck am I? I'm so fucking stupid. Oh yeah. This is a easy C tier. So that leaves this one here. You don't really care about these. But if you happen to do get Archer or Crypt Fiend, you're pretty happy. Fiend A tier, of course. I mean, they're not good, but I have used Crypt Fiends infinitely more than these two, so it's just by default, it has to go there. Like, I don't think... Have I ever bought these? I'm literally just trying to think. I don't think so. If you ever buy these units, you have no anti-air in your draft, and the second someone sees these two rolling out on your lane, at any point in the game, when you know they're 4 mining, then you know you just buy air and you instantly win. They can work with Banshee. Well, lucky for you, you know where Banshee is going. So I'd say these are, well, just wait. We do this. There we go. JK lol. JK lol. I'm just gonna say this. This is the only S tier that is an immediate insta-pick. Nothing else matter. You pick Zork, you win the game. Easy. Slow is a reverse Bloodlust. Invis have won so many games, it's not even funny. It's unironic. Do you know how many stacks that have been secured because of the fucking Zork? You frontline a Zork and the guy before you has just his hero with the 10 HP. The Zork rolls in, Invis, and you win. Easy. And Polymorph, I'm not even gonna talk about how broken that is. Polymorph is the best E-unit ability. No joke. It is, by far. Oh wait, maybe I should have changed title. Yeah, one sec. Polymorph is... it's so good. You delete one unit for, I think it's 7 seconds. Which means none of your shit targets it. Which inherently means you get better focus fire. Zorks forces so many dispels, you cannot match a Zork draft with AoE dispels. You can't do it. The only thing, well, you can kinda do it with the Destros. That's about it. Like Zorks have what, like 1 4-second cooldown ability and I think it's 10-second cooldown, and they cost no mana whatsoever. If you have no this spell versus Zorks, you get fucked. If you have this spell against Zorks, you kinda get fucked. Oh yeah, title. This making the most based unit tier. Unit based, dude, fuck me. Making the most based for mine unit tier list. There we go. Banshee, nope. I think they're absolutely garbage. Every game I have them, it is between Dryad and Banshee. And they are just as useless. The only exception is the Banshee is a bait. You think you're like, oh, they're not that bad. Surely you're gonna get value. Nope. Has never happened. But they can't buy Torrens. Wow. Nope, they're just trash. Zorks allow you to stack and everything. Zorks best. The only thing in the entire tier list that is an insta-pick. That is only Zork. The only thing you pick on tier 1 is you see Zork, you pick Zork. Simple as that. You see these two, you ignore them. They are useless. Do you know what happens every time I play Zork? No, not play Zork. Every time I 4-mine and I see the guy I'm laning against rolls out with Dryads, I get happy. Like, these are 100% unplayable as a 4-miner against a 4-miner. They do not work, they are useless. They take up one of the actually, I think it is the most important slot in the entire draft. It being a solid counter to bears, if you have no other. Well, then it's pretty much the same old. Well, if you don't have a counter to something, unfortunate if they have it. That's pretty much it. Wait, do I have the chat on screen? I think so. No, I don't. Wait, do I have that somewhere else? 1 minute. I don't think so. Fuck me. I don't even know how to add it right now. I'm too fucking stupid. Unless, 1 second. Läsare. No, I don't have it. Fuck me. Don't have it since I reinstalled OS. By the choice between Banshee Dryads, it's Banshee every time, yes. But also, every time you see a Banshee Dryad, you die on the inside. It's so bad. I hate them. What's next after it's a unit? Dude, which fuckers are those? I'm not sure. These. Is it Gargs? I think it is. I don't even know where the fuck Garg is, because I have never picked for them. And Witch Doctor and Priest? I mean, it's pretty much this. This. If you have Archer in your draft, I'd consider Hippogriff over Priest, but I don't think... Well, okay, it's like this. If you have Archer and Shaman, I'd go Hippogriff over Priest. Maybe, well, actually, yeah, probably over Witch Doctor. But if you have Zorks, I don't think I would go secure a Hippo Rider over Witch Doctor. Maybe over Priest. It's kind of debatable. I just think Zorks with free anti-air is so fucking stupid. It's just hilarious to watch. And these you can jackhatter them, aka Hippo Pull, and fuck up the lane or the next lane. So yeah, and as I said, if you polymorph something, if you polymorph some worms or chimps, even if they have tanks, if you play forward, you can just place these in the back. You polymorph chimps or worms, They fly into your army outside of their tank range, and your hippos just kill them for free. It is the stupidest thing ever. It's just hilarious to watch. They just stand there and cut them with their beak for like 10 seconds. It's just hilarious to watch. Well, and also they counter, these two both counters the fairy, which is a soft counter to your draft. So, I mean, if this slot wasn't so fucking contested, these would probably be higher, but this is simply too good. And now we have the S unit, it is this, and it is Mr. Bear. What else is there, dude? I don't even know if I pick something else, so maybe that should tell you this, and Necro. I'm pretty sure it goes like this. Breakers are too good. These two, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think these two are pretty interchangeable. If you have Priest, then definitely Necros above these. If you don't have Priest, I think you go this. So it kind of depends. But like the S slot, no, the S tier is pretty much only applied for Zorks. Everything else on the S tier is kinda what do you call it? It kinda depends if you have a aggressive draft, as in you have bloodlust or not, and what you're lacking and so on. I think Necro equals Walker Bears. I mean, Necros can work, I agree, but as I said, it kinda depends. I don't know, I think they're pretty interchangeable, these two. But these two is for sure like this. If you have this spell, then maybe bears are better, to be honest. But as I said, I mean, to be honest, both these two are interchangeable, it depends. And so are these two. Necro support the stacking idea. I mean, yes, but also it can backfire. And also you're even more susceptible to the fairy. Because, and mass dispel. So, I don't know. It feels like you're putting too many eggs in one basket then, in my opinion. But, I don't know. It depends on what you get in your draft, as pretty much every game. They can work, but the thing is, I think the quote-unquote add damage is just a bait. I think it's unironically a bait. Like the amount of Zork games where I sit on top of the quote-unquote damage done, it's kind of hilarious. Since you're not dying, I mean, you don't do damage fast, but over the course of a fight, you get to do so much damage. But obviously, it also depends on your draft and enemy draft and yada yada yada. But yeah, breakers, too good. They're a get to dispel. And versus summon heroes, they're even, like, I don't know, they're even better than the dispel. They make a hero useless, and or you get a massive tempo swing, especially if they don't have any form of dispel. But yeah, as I said, these two, pretty interchangeable. And then it's D unit, Talons. Oh my god, now I have even started doing the Pika fucking Talons. Copter. Farseer confirmed S tier, since you can turn off summons and still get value. True! How did you know? Raider and Totem versus Breaker. True! Then you can just throw your lightning bolts on them. Farseer S tier. I mean, I haven't given too much thought on the hero tier list recently. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pretty far down. Spoiler alert. I think it has to be like this. Talon S. Because this applies to the same logic as the fucking Hippo and Gargs. Other than these cannot... they cannot deal with Destro / Ferris. But they give your draft some damage. It forces more dispels. And also... Oh, this is a very important part. Zorks tax enemy breakers so much if you have something else. Like, you tax them so much. They need to spam so many fucking... not control magic. What is it called? Spell steal. Smedjepung was on my stream last 2 days ago. Oh my god. Smithy balls. I miss him. I do love me some nice Smithy balls. Fucking Smithy balls. I don't know how to do these last. I mean, copters... To be honest, I think all of these 3 are just interchangeable, to be honest. Wait, oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how to place these. If you're playing against a 4-miner that you know of as a 4-miner yourself, these could move up 1 or 2 tiers, to be honest. But copters, it's like a makeshift solution, so you don't... well, they're like a ghetto solution to anti-air. If you don't get any of these 3. Because then you don't have to rely on hippos / tanks. So... But then these also just loses to tanks, so... I don't know. I really wanna like the totem. I know it's good, but this is such a major problem with it. With Zorks, you self-grief yourself. It gets value at the start of the fight, but as soon as the fight goes longer, your totem will just stand in the back line and never be able to heal anything. Because you're gonna polymorph a bunch of shit, and it's just gonna walk past your entire garbage. Everything. It's just gonna walk past everything, and then they're gonna be in the back line near the totem. So your totem can only heal like 1 unit in the back line, or it can attack the thing that is cheap. So it's a bit of anti-synergy, but it works. It works somewhat sometimes. I don't know. Like, I know it gets insane value sometimes, but other times it does nothing. I wanna like it, but as I said, I don't think they're that good with Zorks. They can be good. You get to pump mana to your Zorks though. I mean, usually after a full wave, your Zorks still have mana for like 1 to 3 spells, to be honest. So, I don't know. Like, the Zork spells are so cheap. It's kind of irrelevant most of the time when 4-mining. Yeah, that is true. Irrelevant. These can be relevant. These can be relevant. But as I said, these are... Well, all these 4 are like interchangeable. These... Yeah, I don't know. The D pick is kinda irrelevant. It's like this one is by far the best, and then these 3 is... It kinda depends on your draft. They can all get value, they can all be useless. It depends. As I said, I wanna like the totem, but... And then what? It's the F units. This. Wait, is it the glaives actually? It's the glaive boys. Well, I think it's this. Where the fuck is the last piece of super thing? I mean, yeah. I think it's just like this. These are completely irrelevant, though. They don't matter one bit. They can. Like, these 2 have situation where they are somewhat usable in one and have 1 to 2 of them. That's about it. they're not very good. Lots of sick interaction with Ghoul Raider Walkers. If you put Raiders to the side, they can get linked with Ghouls and soak damage. So your Ghouls become super Ghouls. Yeah, but you're griefing your Raiders. So they can raid less because they lose too much HPs from your Ghouls. See? It's anti-synergy. True. Oh yeah, and the copters, they can get to Yak Harrer them, but it's a very expensive Yak Harrer, but as I said. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned. Copters are a makeshift solution, at least to the ferry. So I think that actually gives him a bit more value, to be honest. I mean, if you have a draft that just gets fucked by a ferry, if you have like bears, orcs, and I don't know, necros or the walkers, and you don't have anything for the ferry, I mean, and they have a ferry, and you don't have tanks either, I mean, you kinda have to do it. You can sell ghouls and raiders, so you have more gold for MG's breakers. Yeah, that's a pretty broken interaction. I think I might have used this interaction once or twice. No, actually, I only use 50% of the interaction. And now it's this, Kudo, and this. I think this is a easy down here. This is an easy. Ferry, this is a insta pick, sadly. If you're playing position 2 or 3, and you're 4 mining, I think Shade is picked over these. Dragonhawk, you don't pick them. Well, you do if you're position 1 and you get offered a Shade or a Dragonhawk. Maybe in lower rating, to be honest, a Shade is fine on position 1. But this is completely unplayable. It's so bad. Might be bait if you're famous for doing 4 mine. Yes, that is why I said in lower rating it's fine. But yeah, if you're on 2k plus and you're a famous 4 miner, then Shade is somewhat of a bait. Then you're basically rolling the dice if enemy has Raider or not. But it can also, it can unironically be good as well. Since if you're known for being a 4 miner, there are some people that are going to try to match you in the lobby. So what does that mean? That's right, they pick these boys, and then if you have a Shade out on the board, you can negate a decent amount of value. So it's kinda hit or miss with Shade. Like, yeah, I don't know. As I said, position 1, bad. Unless you're in a shit tier bracket where nobody knows you're 4 mining. Then they can be good. And then Kudo, I mean, Kudo is Kudo, it's pretty shit after the nerf, but I mean, Kudo and the Dragonhawk, I mean, you can't even consider the Dragonhawk a unit. It's like a fucking Gorg, except it doesn't attack air, doesn't do any damage, doesn't have any HP. Doesn't counter the ferry, it doesn't do fucking anything. Game is usually so. Yeah. I mean, I agree, but as I said, this unit is pretty much on the, what is it, F pick. It's like ferry, no. Then you just go down here. It's literal like this, except this one goes to this place if you're playing in higher rating. And if you're in shit rating, it goes like this, in my opinion. Then you're likely in a good spot. Yeah. I mean, it also depends. I mean, so much are game dependent, like what heroes do you have? What heroes does enemy have? Draft. Do you have a win condition? Do they have a win condition? Do you, and so forth and so forth. And also at 20 minutes it can just be like what? They get their second hero, enemy team gets good second heroes, your team gets complete ass wipe, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, these two are interchangeable depending on what rating you are. And then we're at the C units, I think. This, this, and this. I mean, I wonder where this guy is going. Yeah, that was a very hard one. MGs is... this is, I think, the closest thing there is to an insta-pick other than the Zork. Wait, no, fairies. Okay, my bad. The third, almost insta-pick. Rest in C. I mean, I would, but then it somewhat fucks up the format, because then you have this, and you can't just do them row by row. So I think just... I don't know. I think unironically Knights might be the least shit of these ones. If they don't have Banshee, what fucks you over is MGs, and if they don't have Banshee, that is, it's MGs and Breakers. So I think it's like this. Like the Torrents, they're so fucking expensive. They're so fucking expensive, and they need a fucking upgrade. I think it's like this. But as you said, they're pretty interchangeable, these three. It doesn't matter too much. But this one matters. A-bombs are just useless. Torrents Knight can be at least kill Breakers and MGs. Yeah, I somewhat agree. As said. But... I mean, if you don't get MGs, you don't give a shit about this. If you don't get MGs, you look at the X and Z option. So we have this, and we have this, and this. Yeah, I mean, Bats worst, for obvious reason. I think tanks are unironically better than Hippo Riders. I don't think the Hippo Riders are the end-all, be-all, everyone consider themselves. The tanks are much more flexible, and they fill out the weaknesses you have when you're going for the 4-mine, which is Fairy. Wait, do you not even have... you don't have mod or VIP? That's actually cringe. How have I missed this one? We can do... How do you do this? Följ. Wait, can I follow if I do... Nope, it just unfollows. Dude, Twitch is so fucking dog water. At least on this web browser. I need to do this. /mod 21 Anaconda. / yeah, boom. There we go. Now he has a sword. Yeah, I think tanks are more versatile than Hippo Riders. And as I said, it fill out more gaps. Well, it fill out more weaknesses of your draft. And also, if you don't have MGs, then you're susceptible to Banshees, especially if you don't have Breakers either. So I think they're a more solid pick, but... I mean, these two, I think they're interchangeable as well, depending... if you have this spell. If you don't have this spell, I think, and you have Zorks, I think Destros are better than Hippo Riders. They're not better in the super late game, but in the mid game, when you hit your power spike, I think it's more important to have a well-rounded draft. So basically, in other words, the only win condition the enemy might have against you is like then what? Mass Banshee and Mass EMS. And then you poop on them. So yeah. But if you have this spell, then I would go this. And also, they can be unironic. These can be unironically powerful, throwing out like 2 or 3 of these, the first things you put on the board, depending on the other lanes, obviously. If every lane just plays standard, and there's no hunts involved, so there's no rifleman, and there's a summon hero here and there, or there's banshees and shit like that, you can get so much value from these. Because they stack, and as I said, you just fucks up, you fuck the dynamic of the other lanes, and it forces trash investment. But so does Hippo Riders, true, but as I said, they don't mess with the whole dynamic of the lane. They don't do anything against summon heroes and shit like that early on. Have a shit longevity, yep. But as I said, that usually doesn't matter in my opinion. It only matters if you're going up against a better draft, a better hero. And yeah. If I have MGs, then I don't think I would give a shit about Hippo Riders. As long as you have a somewhat of a way to deal with them. Just a hero with orb that tanks and MGs, and then you get some Zorks and I don't fucking know, whatever. I don't think the Hippo Riders are the end all be all, but these two I think are pretty interchangeable. It depends on the draft. If your only weakness is no dispel, then I would pick these above Hippo Riders. But yeah. And bats are just bats. And as I said, the Hippo Riders are just a bit of damage to mess with the lanes early on, while the Destro Dispel can just swing your other lanes if they can stack early on, because no anti-air on any lane. Fuck, spilled coffee everywhere. Dude, I can't even drink properly. I guess I haven't slammed the G button enough to figure out how to properly do things. And then here. I don't know. I'm not even sure what I value most, chimps or worms. Oh, yeah. I think chimps, if you have raiders, can be a bit more valuable. But I think these are just more overall utility. But I think this is very... It depends, these two, on your draft. But these are more well-rounded, and then Griffon last, they're fucking dog water, and then Wind Riders. Yeah, I think this looks pretty solid. But the tier 3, like, it is so situational. When you pick your tier 3. I have picked, what is it? Like, I have picked MG's, Bat, and Griffon certain games. Simply for the MG, like, they are unironically that good. Like, you can do some wild shit with just MGs and Zork. If you have some form of sustain, it can be pretty fucking stupid. But then, when you have some shit like that, where you have like MGs, Bat and the Griffon, you are on a clock, I agree. Like, you're fine up until like 30-minute mark, then it is gonna come down to pretty much just draft and heroes. But up until that point, I think MGs are just too good. They are so fucking retarded. I don't think there's anything I wanna change here. You need C unit. You need your C unit to help with clearing MGs / tanks in Banshee meta. Wait, what? You need your C unit. Meta whereas units / bears are often not an option. Shims don't get distracted by air. That is true. That is true, but when you're running Zorks, you have such a slow lane. And like just the damage mitigation from frost worms. Like you slow a decent chunk of army for like, what is it? I don't know how much it is, like 50%. Like you don't take damage. But yeah, I could see the argument for if they have Banshees, then to quote unquote play around it. Well, okay, how about this? Well, you can't even draft around it. I was about to say, if you get a DK or TEC, I would probably put Shims above Frostworms because of the speed aura, but I mean, you can't really draft around, oh, if I get a TEC or a DK. I mean, these are somewhat interchangeable, but as I said, the tier 3 just comes down to what will be your win condition in your draft. The would put worms above. Yeah, that's true. That is true. The DK pocket on undead units can be just disgusting. You're scared of Fairs and Gargs. C tier. Scared of Gargs? Nah. Gargs are... the only person who buys Gargs is Aless. I don't know, I think Gargs are just... they're fucking almost unplayable. And also, if you don't show your X unit and they start putting out 4 to 10 Gargs and then you slam 2 tanks, yeah, have fun. Have fun with that. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good representation. Like, the only queued unit that actually matters, in my opinion, is Ghouls. Especially on position 1, because then you can contest mid the first wave. Unless they do zero mine mid contest. Because these win against 3 out of 4. Well, 3 out of 4 when they full send, and then the last matchup is 50-50. If they also have ghouls and send 3. So yeah. And then this, I think also is pretty accurate. Zorks is the only thing that is above S tier. It is insta-pick. And then like this, yeah. Witch Doctor Priest, yeah. Yeah, these, although these, I mean your, what is it, A and S, it just depends on the other things on those slots. Does mid control first wave matter that much? I mean, it matters in some ways. If especially if you're in a lower rating, it matters way even more. Because you send ghouls first wave, you send 3, what will they think? Oh, he's playing normal. I need to counter ghouls. I need a hero. Oh, he plays the 3 ghouls. So he's gonna not have hero this wave, and so forth and so forth. I mean, there's so much more to that. And also, if you win mid, then your next player will keep mid for as long as he's not hunts and or placing back. You will keep mid for a bit longer, and also it boosts your teammates' gold. I mean, you're gonna be swimming in gold, so taking a hit to your own gold early on to help your teammates, it's not that bad. Because, in case you didn't know, people tend to tilt when they see a 4 miner. Sell the third goals, yeah. Yeah, I know. But as said, this in lower rating forces people to, well, it doesn't force, but they will commit to, oh, this guy is playing standard. Because it is the standard. Well, not standard. It depends if you want hero next or yada yada yada. So yeah. And then, is there anything? I said these two are pretty interchangeable. I think if you have archer, this can go up to here. It depends. If you have a shaman, then shaman and archer, then this will most likely go up here. Otherwise, no. Oh yeah, no, these are not interchangeable. Hippo always over guard, cause you can hippo pull. It is more flexibility. Gargs are just ass wipe. Garg will target enemy hippo riders, etc. or fairies during mana flare. Yeah, I mean everything will target everything else. They can attack during mana flare. If there are quote-unquote valid targets on the aggro priority table. And this, Talon, yes. And these are, as I said, somewhat interchangeable. I want the statue being higher. But as I said, with the Sorks, it's anti-synergy. And these, as I said, don't matter in like 90% of the game, and in the 10% they matter. Only these two matters. Well, potentially matters. And this, Fairy is an auto pick. Shade in lower rating, yes. In higher rating, you go Kudo above Fairy. Shade. Oh yeah, also Shade is position dependent. If you're position 2 or 3, Shade is better. Had a demo carry job yesterday. But I bet it was BJ Biggs who came in with the demo carrying you. Goddamn BJ Biggs. An S. C unit. Z. Zeta. It's just MGs. Or you don't give a fuck. And tanks, as I said. They help your draft fill in some holes, which is mainly deal with Fairy. Or if you get Chims as well, I mean, then it's a pretty instant pick. But, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then these two are interchangeable depending on if you have this spell with Sorks. If you have Shamans, then these are obviously above Destros. But if you have a Sork draft, then it depends. And this is, I heard this is Anaconda's favorite. Sork plus Windrider. I heard he likes this one. Because you hit shit with your spear, and then they get sheeped. And then they take damage. And then they come out of poly with 1 HP. And then they die. I mean, it sounds retarded. It is somewhat retarded. But it gives these pieces of shit a bit more value. Like, they are almost unplayable. Almost. So if you can make something almost unplayable a bit better, then they're still almost unplayable. But there's less shit. If I get gas burned every game today. Do you let Destros absorb mana from Sorks or you toggle it? Both. It depends. Like, if you have a pretty bad anti-air and you're facing some mass hippogriff, hippos, potentially riders, or shit like that, then you just toggle it. When you're about to clash, you enable it. And also you can do emergency. Wait, no, it doesn't get HP from absorb mana. No, it's just our magic. Yeah, I mean, you can leave it on, because swords are cheap batteries. 140 gold for... How much mana do they have? Like 400? 300? So it depends. If you need them for a bit of damage and they are spamming air and you have no proper solution to it, then you definitely use it. But then, as I said, you use it against the guy who's doing it. Because if you have to fight another dude first and then you empty your swords, then you're fucked. Well, you empty your shit's mana pool, then you're fucked. So yeah. Griffons, they're bad. I hate them. The problem is... Okay, how about this? If Griffons would work like chimps, they can only attack ground, then I think they would be actually pretty decent. The problem is they spend all their time attacking air and they have like 2 seconds per one attack. They're just ass. And they do like 0 damage against air, it feels like. But yeah, I think this is a pretty accurate unit tier list. I mean, to be honest, you could even put bears above breakers. You could. But, I don't know. I think, I mean, yes, then you have a win condition if they have no counter. But this is way more flexible. Like, this fills in so many gaps. If you don't get anything to tank, if they have banshees, you have these. And if you have no buffs, you take that. If they have buffs, you take that. I mean, I don't know. They would suck to versus tanks. Wait, who's too fragile? Destros. Destros versus tank? I don't think they're that fragile. They soak a fuck ton of damage from... Oh, Griffons. Yeah, that's true. I thought you meant Destros. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, versus like 4 tanks, Griffons gets fucked even if they have like 2 armor upgrades and inner fire and priest sealing them. Versus like just 4 tanks, they die. It's actually ridiculous. They're like a paper. Almost like Wind Riders. They have a bit more. If they have ground pride like Jimmo. Yeah, they would actually be playable. They would be playable. But yeah. And this, as I said, E unit is by far the most important pick, and this is completely unplayable. I guess, to be honest, you could say these 3 are preference based. But I think, yeah, these swords are just way above everything else. Like, it's not even close on this E unit. Swords are too good. No joke. When 4 mining. The invis. And people just say, but they can buy gem. Okay, let's just say like this. The first guy you're playing against buys gem. As long as he's facing you, that's cool. Then he's getting value from it. Okay. What happens if the game ever swings? Minus 200 gold. And the guy after him, he also needs a gem. That's minus 400 gold. And even if they both have gem, if the hero dies and you just enable invis, it's still minus 400 fucking gold. I don't know. Invis is so fucking retarded. Early game, it's trash. Late game, mid to late game, it's unironically broken. But then you say, but sir, they can use scan. They can, but a very big issue with that is they need to preemptively scan before the invis is being cast. It wasn't too long ago. I won a game where I came in to a keeper, stacked with a keeper who had like 10% HP. I had a frontline Zork and some MGs. I invis the keeper when it's being attacked and just barely makes it. It cancels every attack. He takes no damage. Then they scan, and then you have MGs on him already. And then you just taunt. And then the keeper went from level 5 to level 6, and then he ultis with my with the wave. The next, well, I full clear the first dude, and then he ultis versus the next dude, and then we get the third stack, and then the game was over. But that does not happen every game. Yeah, it doesn't. But it is a win condition. They can have Hans or Mortar. They can. And then they get to enjoy wasting, what is it, 285 gold, or how much are mortars and the upgrade? Like 310 for the mortar? Yeah. I mean, that's even better than forcing them to buy a gem, so I don't mind. Yeah. I think that is the unit tier list 100% accurate. The most based 4-mine tier list there is. 10 out of 10. Very nice. Maybe we should do a hero tier list as well. Absolute cinema. Yeah. I don't think there's... I mean, to be honest, okay, I would say this. Zorks in 2 tiers above everything. Fairies 1 tier above everything. MGs S tier. No, maybe MGs. No, wait. Nah, MGs here. ZetPro, I drog. Or Savi. Dude, I don't know how to pronounce it. I just say drog. What do you think about my goated 4-mine tier list? Unit tier list. Is that on tier list? Nah, it's fine. We can do a quick recap. This doesn't matter. This only matters if you're position 1 for the first wave. This doesn't matter. This insta pick, and then it's this, and then sadly it's this piece of trash, and then this never. If you pick this, you're griefing. Necros are underrated. I somewhat agree, but I also don't. I don't know. I both agree and I disagree. I just think buffs are overrated. No cap. And these 2, it depends. If you have, actually, no. Well, okay, how about this one? If I'm playing against Bichon, I would pick Priest above Witch Doctor. Boom. That's about it. And this, yeah. Breakers. Why? Because Bichon just picks Banshee every game. Why? Fucking Pika. And Breaker Bears, yes. I mean, if you want to be cheesy, you pick Bears over Breaker and just go for the Bear win condition and hope for the best. I prefer not to, because, as I said, it is one of the most important slots in my opinion. And yeah, I would pretty much always pick Breakers above Bears. And then these 2 I think are pretty interchangeable. I mean, these 2 just depends on pretty much these 4. I mean, yeah. And then Talons. I mean, the D slot doesn't matter too much. You might even be able to bump up the totem statue a bit, but yeah. Copters, makeshift solution if they have a fairy and you have no way to deal with fairy. And these are useless, insta pick, good if position 2 or 3, and or in lower rating. Otherwise it's CUDA above it. Oh shit. Oh no, what did we do? There we go. And MGs. These doesn't matter. I'm not a fan of Torrent. Okay, I can give you this one. If you have walkers, then I would probably consider picking Torrents. Then I would, if there's no MG, then I would consider it. Otherwise, I don't think it matters. Knights are cheapest, and you know what you like when you have lots of gold, you want to spend the bare minimum. And these, if you have no dispel, Destro above Hippo, when you're playing Zork at least. If you're playing Shaman, Hippo above Destro. I saw last time. Proper answer to Necros. This is true. And these two are interchangeable, and these two, I mean, if you get the good, I would pick pretty much Tank Bat, Wind Rider over like any of these. Not any of these. Well, not any of these, plus, I don't know, whatever. That's the thing with 4-mine, it's so much depending on your draft, what your weakness is. Are playing versus all that trash Banshee SB combo? It depends on your draft. If you have a shit draft that cannot deal with it in any way, shape or form, then, I mean, it is tough luck, but I haven't had too many of those games. Ghouls can work, since they don't have Shaman. It depends on their hero, it depends on... I mean, you can just do, like, what... Let's say you have a somewhat alright draft. You have some tanks, and then you just make some ghoul islands on the sides, shit like that. And then, yeah, I mean, if you have no dispel whatsoever, it can be rough, sure, but you usually have, in most games, not all, you have a win condition versus what you're playing. MGs, yeah, just MGs. But I think it's time to move on to a hero tier list.